Starting recording now. All right. One, two, three. Yay!
Yay!
Welcome to episode 107 of How to Be Friends with Dave and Shawn. If you're confused right now how we went from episode 6 to episode 107, Shawn and I were discussing beforehand, and someday we may have seasons. So this is effectively season 1, episode 7. Hi, Shawn.
Hi, Dave.
How you doing, young man?
Yesterday, I crushed my finger really bad, and then I came home and took a shower with my cat. So it's been a weird weekend.
I feel like that's not great for your drain or your finger.
The cat needed a bath. The finger hurts still. The cat's okay.
Okay. For those of you out there who get wound up about saving the planet, how many of you are using the same water that you use for your own body as your animal? That's saving the planet.
Yes. Plus, we had to buy Head and Shoulders specifically for the cat. So
Did it work on you too?
I don't have dandruff. The only person in the house with dandruff is the cat. So it seems
So
to
you
have worked.
Can't say it's not working.
Exactly. She seems clean-ish. I don't know. Whatever a cat should be. Yeah.
We're coming out swinging. This is awesome, which is great. I want to actually, last week, if anyone who didn't go back and listen to episode 6 or watch episode 6, we talked about Operation Tiger. And I had the opportunity, because I talked to more people in the day than probably listened to this podcast. So I had the opportunity to ask a bunch of people whether or not they actually have heard of Operation Tiger. And nobody heard about that. That was the biggest training debacle I've ever heard of. And ain't nobody heard about that. So last week was pretty awesome. This week, we got a lot of cool stuff. I promised last week we would talk about anime eyes, where they came from, and how they're ruining our society. And we have some news, several other things to talk about. But first, Shawn, dinosaur buttholes.
Dinosaur buttholes. The first preserved dinosaur butthole is perfect and unique, paleontologists say. Thank you, livescience.com. Which I just saw that like 2 days ago. I saw this on Google too, so it's obviously permeated through people's imaginations. A dinosaur didn't really have a butthole. It had like a cloaca, like birds do.
Sure.
Which is like the Swiss Army knife of buttholes.
It does a lot of things, yes.
It really does, right? You can signal with it. You can poop with it. You can give birth with it.
Yes.
You can do naughty stuff with it.
Yeah.
But scientists are very, very impressed with the shape and quality of this butthole. It's like a paleontologist OnlyFans. They are just all over this butthole. It's beautiful.
Which of course implies the point that they have seen enough buttholes to have an appreciation therein. And yeah, if anyone who doesn't know yet, based on the context of make sure I'm saying this right, cloaca, it is the hole for pooping, peeing, giving birth. It is the all-purpose hole.
I thought I was being funny. He actually says in the article, it's like a Swiss Army knife of excretory openings.
Hey, he just threw in an expensive word.
We're on the same anal page. Fantastic.
That's not bad. I'm a huge comic book nerd, Shawn. In fact, there has been a comic book Easter egg in every episode to this point that I'm curious if anyone ever finds. Maybe that'll become trivia someday. I'm not big on putting any stock in rumors, but the rumor that was reported by a website that I just have to love the name of, giantfreakingrobot.com, that Chris Evans is going to return as Captain America is super exciting because, of course, the end of the Infinity War in the MCU was sad because We don't know whether or not we'll see Chris Evans again. We don't know whether or not we'll see Robert Downey Jr. again, blah, blah, blah. This rumor, if proven true, gives us a pile of stuff to be excited about because he may come back as Captain America, Agent of Hydra. He may come back and fight Wolverine. And that latter point means we'll finally see the successor to the beautiful and sexy Hugh Jackman. Not to
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I just don't see Chris Evans returning to that role. I don't.
You don't see him returning to that role until you see him getting his paycheck.
Yeah, true.
Lest we forget.
Agreed.
Okay, to the point, lest we forget, Cameo became a thing in 2020. Celebrities making custom videos for people for direct pay because everyone got poor in 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, that became a thing. So yeah.
Does Chris Evans have a cameo?
If he does, it's probably expensive. There's a huge difference. They're like you can get some less famous people, like $50 a video. Some people like many hundreds. I'm sure a Chris Evans would not stop running on a treadmill for less than several thousand.
Well, isn't the other Chris Hemsworth? Doesn't he have like free workout videos that you can watch and work out at home?
As soon as I want to get ripped as Thor, I'll look into that. But maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe Chris Evans has like a whatever he does is Chris Evans from home program. Well, I mean, it would be exciting to see him in that, but considering they just pushed back Ghostbusters, is it Origins? Ghostbusters Continuance?
This is the first I've heard that there's a Ghostbusters, prequel?
No, this is actually after all the Ghostbuster stuff happened. Ghostbusters. Anyway, they're pushing a bunch of these movie releases back because of, that thing that keeps getting everybody sick.
The disease that shall not be named.
Yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife, that's what it's called. So even though it would be exciting to see him in that role, when are we going to see that movie come out? Like 2022?
Probably after the apocalypse.
Yeah.
It'll be useless at that point, so.
And can I be honest with you? I'm kind of enjoying a break from the superhero movie releases.
You're fired.
Yeah,
get off my podcast.
It honestly felt like they were just pushing them out as fast as possible to make money. I know who would imagine they would do something like that. But for me,
wait.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying they're bad movies.
Okay. Are you still watching Doom Patrol?
No. I'm just saying that honestly, like they were getting so busy for me. I like a nice, simple story. Maybe it's my eyes, or maybe it's just the way I am. But like the last couple ones, I'm like, wow, there are so many things going on in this movie. It hurts my eyes. Maybe it's my age. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I just started trying to watch Game of Thrones, and it requires me learning a lot of people's names, and I'm not on it. I don't know.
Well,
I think I need a really simple film to keep my attention.
In defense of your not liking Game of Thrones or not able to watch it, now that we know that it apparently, spoiler alert, I've never watched it, but apparently ends on a big downer, so what's to watch it for?
Let me put it this way. It's good. I don't know why people were all up in arms about it. It's good. It's not anything amazing.
Yeah, maybe hot people. Jason Momoa.
Exactly.
You know,
I'd rather see Chris Evans return as Captain America than watch Game of Thrones.
It's a low bar you just set there. So.
That's not a low bar.
It's not. Okay, Okay, so just this is a point that I've talked to my patients about as well. Uh-huh. Anyone who's poo-pooing all over, I'm going to lump a lot of sci-fi in together, but specifically comic books. Okay, comic book movies.
You're right.
All right.
No, I mean I'm not. They're good movies. They're what they're supposed to be. It's just not. It feels like the most recent ones are like not my jam. They're just too busy for my eyes.
I'm with you. I'm just here to say why cinema needs it. Cinema, doesn't that sound fancy? Anyway, why we need it because we already crapped all over movies. We were already shoveling them out like a movie got 2, 3 weeks in the theater at best. And all of the plot lines just started running together. I couldn't tell you the difference between any two Jason Bourne movies or even though I love them, the Keanu, what are the damn Keanu action Reeves? My words are falling apart on me.
You're talking about John Wick?
John Wick.
Okay.
Everything's the same, right? Comic books at least have the value of a mountain of source material that can stay fresh. If we're going to have this streaming movie voracious appetite for TV shows, we're going to need that creative outlet of people just getting their stories down via a dude in spandex.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it provides you with good background characters. There's movie ends in giant air battle, blah blah blah. Move on to the next one. Movie ends in giant air battle, blah blah blah. Move to the next one. Movie. Oh look, ends with giant air battle. Move to the next one. I mean, yeah, it's got good source material, but honestly, they do feel like they're hitting the same things with every movie. But once again, that's what people want. Why not give it to them?
Thank you, Michael Bay. Absolutely.
I'm cool with that.
That,
It's just not my jam. It gets repetitive.
yeah.
But
And lest we forget, of course, that nearly every Stephen King movie ends with an explosion or implosion. So, yeah, you do what the fans want, I guess.
right.
Except The Mist. Anyone listening or watching this who hasn't seen The Mist, that is the best horror movie ever made.
Oh
Period.
yeah, and if you haven't watched The Mist, you watch The Mist, pay attention to the ending, and then realize that that's not the ending from the book, and that even Stephen King said the ending in the movie was far too dark even for him.
That was good screenwriting. And
Yes, it was.
anytime you make Stephen King recoil to his own story, you've done a great job.
Fantastic work, yes.
Whew. Okay, where were we? What other? Okay, we got to hit a little bit more news, and then
Yeah.
I got to get into anime eyes and how they're ruining us. First off, Shawn, you are doing some really good research, and I want you to tell us about how we can see the CIA's entire collection of UFO documents.
Yeah, so this was cool. So people have been fighting for the CIA's UFO docs through Freedom of Information Act for years, and they've gotten it. Um, but apparently, the CIA started just putting all of this stuff together. Uh, Congress passed a 5,600-page COVID-19 relief bill, which included a provision calling for UFO-related documents disclosure. Now,
Now,
is that what they call a Christmas tree bill?
Uh, maybe as a colloquialism, but it's the term is an omnibus package where they
Yeah,
throw everything together and vote on it all of it together. That's an omnibus
right. Which they
package.
tend to do like 12 hours before, so not everybody can read on it. And they're like, I'll just slip this in here, and then everybody will vote on it and pass it.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently there's a 5,600-page COVID-19 relief bill, and somebody was like, but I want to know what the CIA knows about UFOs. And they passed it. So,
That's fair.
yeah. Hey, you know what? Fair game. Anyways, they released all this information. This gentleman has, uh, let's see, basically been trying to make them all PDF searchable,
Ooh.
so that you can actually go through all of this stuff. This is off of smithsonianmag.com. You can go to their website and click on all the links and stuff like that. But yeah, you can just kind of go through all the documents that the CIA has on UFOs. And of course, in the example, it's redacted, which is
Oh,
to be expected.
Is it
But
all
I mean, it's
redacted or
no, no, no,
no?
no,
Okay, thank heavens.
no. It's
Okay,
not. It's not. It's not literally thousands of pages of black Sharpie.
would we
It's-
put it past the CIA? These guys, they are professionally buttholes using our dinosaur language from they are they are governmental cloacas. Did I say that right? Cloacas? How am I cloacaing?
well, ducks cloac,
Oh my
and they have a
gosh.
cloaca.
Fire cloaca. There you have
Anyways,
it.
yeah, you can just dig through all of this stuff.
Control
Um,
F if you're on PC. If you're doing this mobile, go up to your corner, hit the dots, do find on page.
yeah, and just pull it up. It's really cool.
There will be a link in the description for this because we are here mostly for each other because there was only like 70 of you watching us this last episode. But each and every one of you 70 that watched this, we got good stuff for you. So this will be in the description.
Yes. Go click
Okay.
on UFO thingies,
Yes.
and then you can really thank Dave Grohl for all his hard work.
I
So
don't. Let's not start a list of things I want to thank Dave Grohl for because he has contributed to the world.
he has been fighting foos for years.
He
Him and the
has.
CIA have been fighting these foos. I've never seen a foo thanks to his work. I think he deserves a lot of credit.
I hope that there is someone out there who, like us, was in high school in the 90s listening to Foo Fighters that just now realized that that name was a reference to UFOs.
Yeah, or what they called them, Foo Fighters. That's how they were originally referred to. Yeah.
So crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, might upset some people, but we're not shy about that. Okay. Apparently, in
Yes.
our body beauty world,
Yes.
that we have definitively proven that there is no such thing as fat but fit.
Yes. Thank you, CNN, for verifying what anyone who's ever taken like more than 3 health classes already knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no such thing as fat but fit. It doesn't exist.
So I appreciate the reporting of this because I'm gonna spout a little bias here and remind us that CNN is the same news network that is happy to say anything that is as progressive and woke as humanly possible. So for them to actually put out information that says, yeah, you actually have to lose weight to be fit, I appreciate that. And in conjunction with that, that also means if you're like myself, fat and able to run 4 miles, that doesn't mean that you're necessarily fit. I can be much, much, much better than I am now if I just keep the dang fat off.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So yeah, that's what people say. Well, I'm overweight, but I'm active. Your heart doesn't care. Your
Right.
body doesn't care how much you go on hikes. And honestly, if you were as active as you say you were, you wouldn't be overweight.
Correct.
Unless you have an eating disorder, in which case it's a completely different issue.
Then we're shifting over into mental health. Yep.
Right. But yeah, it turns out that excess body fat can cause cardiovascular issues.
What?
Yeah, imagine that. So yeah,
Mm,
there's no such thing as fat but fit. It doesn't exist.
doesn't exist. There
It's
you
it's
have it.
like it's like A-type personality. It's not a real thing. It's just something somebody made up one day to make themselves feel better.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you, CNN. Fat but fit study. Yeah, weight loss should remain a primary target for health policies together with promoting active lifestyles. That's what he said. So
So I want to make the point once again that there is no good substitute for portion control and exercise.
right.
If you want to lose weight, don't get the damn extra large fries at McDonald's and
Right.
go for a trot every now and again. And
Yeah, after
okay,
this podcast, I'm going to go put on the 50-pound rucksack and
wow, that's
go
late.
walk in circles like I've been doing. but it's better than not doing anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And I'm going to emphasize the importance of that because our metabolism adjusts to everything. That's why there may be a keto fan out there going, no, it's all about how you eat, not the portions. Your metabolism adjusts to everything. That's how keto works. And that's why you can you can cut back on all your eating until you're eating practically nothing. And you may not lose weight unless you're exercising because you also have to maintain your metabolism along with your diet. That's what the exercise
right,
is.
because then you just put yourself in starvation mode, and your body does whatever it possibly can to maintain fat. So
Correct.
there's no fast 1 week answer to it. You just have to eat right and be physically active.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, if you want to do keto or paleo or paleontologio or uh, Mediterranean, it doesn't matter. You just have to eat a balanced diet.
Yeah, I will totally clawacka all over keto and paleo and all of those fad diets all day, every day.
Yeah, and
But it
also
doesn't,
keto's been around forever. Those of
it
you doing
has.
keto who are like,
Yes.
I just picked this up at two. It's been around forever, like everything else.
Yes. But
Calm down.
for the purposes of my own integrity, I will say if it takes keto for you to have the motivation and enjoyment to do a diet, then it's better than being a fat lar.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Then do keto.
yes.
I mean, just don't. There's no fast answer to the problem, and the longer you put it off, the harder it gets to actually get back to where you were.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah, as I am experiencing. So, because
Yes.
I let myself get a little thick. Mm.
But dad bod is in.
Yeah, no, nobody wants a
No.
dad bod. Hey, you know what? That's another thing. No,
No.
no,
No.
no. People didn't go see Aquaman because it was a good movie. No, they went to see
Okay.
Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa has the dad bod. He's a dad, and he has the dad bod that everybody's talking about. They want the dad bod to be.
Right.
Yeah.
I had some of my female friends telling me that Chris Hemsworth was actually more attractive as fat Thor than super built Thor because he was, quote, more attainable.
I was about to say the only reason he would be more attainable because that's the only Chris Hemsworth that the people you were talking to could possibly lay. I'm sorry.
And then that leads to the point. Once you have Fat Thor in your hands, are you going to drool the same as you did with flippin' Swole Thor?
No,
No.
no, no.
No.
The nice part is when you get married, you have this mutual thing where don't tell this to my wife. She doesn't listen. Pretty sure she doesn't want me to lose weight
Uh.
because I'm less attractive. So I'm easier to maintain so she doesn't have to worry. Because when I was fit, I was actually relatively cute. But now that I'm a little thick.
I found you very attractive. I was turned on every time I saw you.
Now that I got a little bit of the thick, I got that Disney Pixar booty going. Um, she doesn't have to stress about it. So I almost feel like I'm secretly trying to lose weight around my wife.
Okay, but wait a second. Isn't the Disney Pixar like build for men? Not in fact the thick booty such as uh Elastigirl, but in fact more like Mike or Sully from Monsters Inc. Just round or square.
Yeah, and I'm round.
There you go. Okay.
But you got to admit, Mr. Incredible, when he started losing weight and getting in shape,
Not bad, not bad.
yeah, Craig T. Nelson had that spark plug shape going.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Hmm.
It was all just a rip off of the Fantastic Four. I said it. I love the Fantastic Four too much to let that go by.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough. Okay.
Anyways, I think my wife has me be fat on purpose. Next topic.
Next topic. Actually, we have shifted when we do our sponsors. Today's episode is being brought to you by the correct use of there, and there.
Really? You're going with this, huh?
I don't pick the sponsors, Shawn.
Okay.
The sponsors pick us. And
Uh,
listen, this is important.
Okay.
People are out there and they're using their, there, and there totally wrong, and they need to get their act together.
I would say regiment and regiment are the two that really annoy me more than there, and there. But I want you to cover the sponsor before we get into that.
So, lest we forget in this world of credibility, if you're going to come out and put a flaming hot tweet about who you love or who you don't love, you need to get more intimate with our friends there, and there
You
before
haven't.
you derail your message before it gets anywhere.
You didn't see my tweet from last week where I used the wrong there, I'm assuming.
Again, I'd like to say,
And
Shawn,
that's our official Twitter.
I'd like to say, Shawn, that I don't pick the sponsors. The sponsors pick us.
Thanks there, and there for being there when you're needed. Regiment and regiment are the ones I wish they could be our sponsor because that's one of the few that irritate me.
Well, maybe
Spelling something wrong is one thing. Saying the wrong word completely is another.
correct. The sentence provided to us by our sponsor was handcrafted. All the theirs sounded the same, but they were all spelled differently. It's the same.
You want to know what seems to annoy my coworkers is how I pronounce the word receipt.
Why do you hit the P in receipt?
Because there's a P in it. There's a P in receipt.
Okay, all right. In full disclosure,
receipt.
In full disclosure, okay. I can't poop on that all that much because I never wear clothes. I always wear clothes.
Yeah, okay. So I say clothes too.
Right.
Not cloths.
I'm not gonna start. Okay, Shawn. I have things to do, so I'm not gonna be tossing an extra P
go down this
in
rabbit hole.
receipt.
This is the kind of content that people like. This is when you get off the rails into something and people really have juice about it, okay? Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So one of you, no, you know what? 5 of you 70 people that watch these episodes, you need to tell us what you think about Shawn and I arguing about receipt.
Yeah, also like leave a comment or send us a question or something because it's really nice if we can interact in that way. I will say this, if you say Warsh, I'm on board with Warsh. I can let Warsh happen.
I have a deep love of putting your head down on a pillow. Not a pillow. A
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, like P-E-H?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I've not heard it from anyone outside the Midwest, but I miss hearing people sleeping on their pillows.
Pillow.
Pillow.
It just became an ASMR podcast.
We're gonna start like getting gloves out and
we're gonna talk about the
mouth sounds and
the My Pillow CEO.
Maybe. Oh my gosh. That's the only thing he can do with all of those commercials now. We've seen them so much. The only way he can start getting us to pay attention to it again is if that commercial comes on and he starts yelling about My Pillow, and we'd all do a double take. We're like, what? And he would sell a bunch of pillows.
Hi, Mike Lindell here from My Pillow. Do you like Pizzagate? Do you think that the dark government is using children as sex slaves? Then you need My Pillow.
I mean, he's not wrong. Okay. I have to fulfill my promises. I'm a man of integrity.
Okay.
I promised a discussion of anime eyes. Okay.
Yeah.
Anime, in general, is terrible. If I've triggered anyone, here's what I'm going to say to the people who think anime is not wholly terrible. Okay? Pick what you like, write it down. Okay? Write a list of all of the anime that you like. and compare it to the totality of all of the anime that exists, and you'll quickly find there's only a tiny portion of anime that anyone actually likes. It's terrible.
Okay.
And we can only blame ourselves.
And Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, that's one of the
They
exceptions.
kind of raised the bar, yeah.
I really like nearly everything that they did, but again, you take every movie that Studio Ghibli has ever created and compare it with the mountain of absolute dross that comes out in anime, it's not good. But it's our fault. Shawn, it's our fault.
It is.
Okay.
Okay.
We had this thing. I don't know if you heard about it. We talked about it last week. It was like this world war. Some bombs were dropped. Some continents were liberated. It was a thing. And as a result of that thing, our cartoons became a thing in Japan.
Okay.
All right. So, the person considered basically the father of manga, the first really, really, really popular manga, which is a fancy term. Someone out there is going, "Oh, it's manga." It's a it is Japanese comic books. That's what manga is.
Yes.
The first big one, Astro Boy. There's going to be some nerds that, but what about Astro Boy was the first big one. The author, the artist, Osamu Tezuka, explicitly stated that he was inspired by Mickey Mouse. You pull up a picture of Astro Boy right next to Mickey Mouse, the same damn eyes. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a combination of two things. Number one, they had the influx of Western influence with the big eyes, and apparently Shawn's being attacked by a fly.
Oh, you'll hear it in the background. That was weird. Anyways, yeah. Continue what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Yes. So let's fast forward. As a matter of competition, as a matter of being cute, the eyes just kept getting bigger and bigger because that's instinctively programmed in us. Children have disproportionately larger heads, larger eyes, etc. We think that they're adorable.
Right.
And therefore, it translates to anime. So, how do you think that that's ruining our world?
Is this still a children's podcast?
Yeah. You use double entendre. Just derailed your
I
point.
don't have anything.
Okay, what? To the point. Yes. Okay. There's a lot of perversion in
A
anime.
Hegao face. Is that what it is?
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yes. Okay. So we now live in this cottage
I hit something.
empire.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a thing now. OnlyFans has become a thing. Flipping. You can pay people.
Oh, yeah. Belle Delphine got huge for it.
Yes. Yes.
Based on her a Hegao face.
Right. I don't know who that is, but
okay.
Yeah, thank you for being able to pronounce that.
Yeah, before anybody's listening, like, you're such a pervert. I was actually having this conversation with my wife earlier, just to roll it back. She was like, "Oh, those two having sex in the show are brother and sister," and I was like, she goes, "That's really big." I was like, "In the show?" She goes, "I think it." She goes, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty big in the adult film industry too.
Yeah,
it seems to be the hot thing.
Yeah.
Anime or that, but yeah,
Right.
yes.
Okay.
I bought my son an Hegao shirt 2 years ago for his birthday.
All right.
That he could wear on stage.
That might not be the best parenting ever, but I'm still proud you did it.
Yeah, he's an adult. It's okay.
So, okay, how is it ruining our society? Okay, we have so many people out there complaining about the unrealistic expectations placed on women with models and actresses and all of these wonderful things. And now, thanks to the cottage industry of cosplay, now you have to find ways to imitate anime because we have been pouring that through to people.
Because
And
of cosplay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cosplay is one thing. Say the ihigao. How do you say that again? You're
E-
teaching me how to
Ahegao.
ihigao. No,
That's
no,
how I
no.
pronounce it.
Cosplay is fine and dandy. Ihigao and people doing the things that people with money want for their perversion in an anime style. That's getting out of hand.
Okay, I was gonna say because if you're trying to argue that my idealization of the perfect woman isn't somebody in a well thought out handmade Warhammer 40,000 costume,
40K.
40K, then um, yeah, I guess. I mean, here's my thing though.
Hit me hard and fast with your finger in your mouth. For those of who are listening.
If you feel like you have to look like an anime character and that's what's expected of you to appear like as a woman, who are you trying to attract as a man?
On the one hand, there are a lot of neck beards that ain't gonna make you happy. Says the man who needs to shave his neck.
I'm just saying, if you feel
But
like if society's pushed you to the point where you got to dress up like uh like the secretary for the Powerpuff Girls to get attention, maybe you're
wow, that's
maybe
going
you're
back.
maybe you're fishing in the wrong pond.
Nobody knows what her he gal. I can't say it. Nobody knows what her face is like though.
No, exactly.
It's remarkable. But no, okay. In defense of anyone trying to attract that type of feller, I hope that you get the ones that are in computer programming making $250,000 a year.
Is it really ruining our society? Is it actually changing the way that men view beauty? Well, I shouldn't say men. Is it changing the way that somebody who is attracted to a woman views how a woman should look?
Okay. I wish I could source this. I can't remember which comedian brought up the point, so I won't try to replicate his bit, but we're making ourselves more artificial,
Yes.
a- and when the conversion is complete and intimate robots are widely available, there's
Right.
no
That's my biggest problem right now.
right.
Sex robots in VR are out of my price range. I want VR for my son and a sex robot in every driveway. Where is my post WW2 American dream that I was promised?
So my point with that, if next week's sponsor is like friggin' some Japanese producer of sex robots, I'm here to tell you, I'm not gonna turn down their check,
I'm not going to turn down your money, although no.
but
Oh, no, I won't turn down your money. Money's money.
but
You're not
we're gonna have
hurting
to find a real gentle way to massage that pitch.
you're not hurting society. You're talking about an entire society that rents people for a half hour just to hang on their arms so they have companionship. Think I'm going to judge you for having a sex robot?
No, I'm not. What all I'm saying is the moment that that transition happens, that we are no longer happy with mortal females, and that everyone has sex robots, the human race will come to a screeching halt. And I'm just pointing this as one of the possible moments wherein real women becoming more artificial with the current trends and times is the opposite of what they need to do to compete.
I, I
Eh, eh,
if it makes you feel pretty and you feel pretty doing it, if you feel like you look good doing it, it makes you feel good, just do it.
that's valid. Yes,
Listen, I
actually.
honestly like if I'm the kind of person I'd color my hair and paint my nails given the opportunity. Like I don't see that as something that if you want to do it, do it.
What's stopping you?
Ugh, really?
Why? Why aren't you living your dreams, Sean?
because I'm a mechanic. Like, you know how long fingernail polish would last on me?
Dude, anodize those things. Come
3 hours.
What are you doing?
Look at this. Look at this. Constantly breaking them and crushing them. I can't even wear a wedding ring. I had to have it tattooed on. How am I supposed to wear nail polish?
Aluminum, anodize. You're good to go.
I could anodize my aluminum hand. I could just wear my infinity gauntlet. No,
Yes.
if you want to look like a, I don't want to say cartoon character. That sounds mean. If you want to look like something from popular media or look more like it, then God bless you.
In fact, to that point, anyone who may be offended by anything that I'm saying, anyone who's in agreement, whatever, the point that Shawn's bringing up is valid. Pretty much any time you do anything of any substance in your life, I'm not talking about sitting down in front of a video game, I'm talking about like something that you direct some real effort at. Consider your motivation as to why you want to do that. If
Exactly.
you, yes, if you genuinely feel good,
Right.
and that's a good expression for yourself, go for it. But yeah, if you're
If
if
you feel better dyeing your hair multiple colors and putting on lipstick or making your eyes look big and you're doing it for you because it makes you feel better like that, then I'm all for it. If you're doing it because you feel that's what's necessary to get attention or something like that, maybe reevaluate, what you're going for. It's, I don't know. That's just me.
this is all very new too. I'm going to be very interested to see what the transition is for people who do this professionally and retire out of it.
Yeah, we're in a really weird. This is a weird economy we've created. If I don't think we've necessarily. I think it's changed our economy more than anything,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the access we have to all this stuff. Because yeah, you can cosplay now and turn people on and make six figures, and that is not something that we were able to do before.
Yeah, that's your gig.
Right.
That and that's in many regards a lot easier to do and more practical than actually being an adult film star.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Why would you?
Mm,
It's too much work.
no.
There's not enough money in that, especially not maybe 20 years ago when you had to go rent the video or buy it. That was one thing, but nowadays it's just that's what Google is.
Did did I okay, I have my brain just went to my time at Blockbuster
Uh,
and the fact that they had all of these R-rated skin flicks on the shelves like the Red Shoes
I
Diary.
was about to say Red Shoe Diary.
Yes, thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
And that industry provided me with so many wonderful instances. This might offend a couple of people
The
coming
Red
up,
Shoe
but
Diaries at Blockbuster existed for people who didn't have like 2 a.m. Cinemax.
exactly. Okay, stick with me for a second. There was this. I'm going back for anyone who went to Blockbuster. You'd go around the new release wall, you'd grab what you want, you'd hand it to a person such as myself behind the counter, who sometimes was busy and wouldn't even look up at the person they were working with until they saw the videos in front of them, and we would always open every single one, make sure the video or the DVD was in there, read out what it was to make sure that they were getting the right
Make sure
thing.
it was rewound if you were still running VHS.
Right, thank you. So I get this stack of skin flicks in front of me. I crack open, okay, you're getting the Red Shoes Diary 1, Red Shoes Diary 2, Red Shoes Diary 3. Is that everything that you need to do? I look up, and this was the first moment that I'd looked up at who was in front of me. The only person in the store, it was like a Tuesday 10 a.m. transaction, right? It was, I don't know whether it was Catholic or Lutheran or whatever, but it was someone with one of them collars, and he looked at me, and the only words out of his mouth were, "Yeah, could we expedite this a little bit, please?" And I'm like, absolutely. No one is more uncomfortable right now than the guy who peddles these things for a living.
And if you are not old like me and Dave, the Red Shoe Diary, Zal, what was it? Sal something's Red Shoe Diaries
Yeah, some dude
was
put his name on it.
yeah, was basically way back in the day during dial-up internet. If you
Uh-huh.
wanted to look at a naked picture, it took a while just to look at a photo.
Line by line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't have GIFs, and there weren't like videos, right? So the only thing accessible to you were skin flicks, but these are not skin flicks like porn. They didn't show penetration. They didn't show really anything below the waist. It
Right.
was usually just two actors grinding. And this is something that you can find on Cinemax or the Red Shoe Diaries. Also, if you'd watch them and you knew anything about anatomy, you'd realize that the female on top of the actor was like probably a foot north of where the business end
There was
was.
nothing fun about the filming of those, in other words. No.
Yeah, and they were just awkward, but it was the only thing you had access to, unless you wanted to go. And also keep in mind, back when me and Dave were in our, 1820,
Mm.
there was no friendly, clean adult bookstores like Adam and Eve. It
Correct.
was seedy,
Yes.
dark, sticky floored, nasty places with arcades, which incidentally, going even further back, when I was a kid and I saw adult arcade, was extremely hard for my dad to explain to me that they were video games, but only adults were allowed to play them.
Yeah. Things have shifted. That's a good
Yeah.
point. We have
And then I later found
yeah.
out that it's not really an arcade.
Okay. So yes, classy adult merchandise stores that I forgot that didn't exist until relatively recently. But I
Right.
need you to answer a question for me, Shawn.
Yes.
This question came up with a friend.
Yes.
Okay. Why is it at nearly every adult themed store, the cashier was on like a pedestal up at a long arm's reach from every. Why was that? Do you know what I'm talking
The
about?
only thing I could ever figure out was they put the cashier higher so they could see down the aisles and over the aisles to watch for theft. And also it made it harder to jump over to actually get to the cashier. Does that make sense?
That's why I'm reacting, because of course that's the best, most logical. Why didn't I think of that?
I
Why aren't convenience stores doing the same damn thing?
here's the best part about an adult shop. I have been into we have a place called the Love Store here in Las Vegas. This is like the classiest retail store I've ever been in. Pick a place. Bed Bath and Beyond, Pier One
Yeah,
Imports. No,
can't compare. Wow.
this place is nicer. So I go in, and it is the friendliest staff you will ever encounter, and they're trying to help you as if you're working anywhere else, but they're asking you the same questions as if you're going into a Best Buy. But these are very personal questions.
Mhm.
I won't get into it because once again, I don't think people care to hear the discussion I had with this person.
We're
But the
trying to
best,
be family friendly. Trying.
yeah, where the best thing about any of these places you go to is when you buy certain items, they
Ah.
will look at you and they will go, "Now you understand. There
There
are absolutely no returns on this item once you open it." And they have
But
to make it
why?
abundantly clear to you. They will open the box, put on a pair of gloves, put batteries in said object, make sure it works before you leave. But once you take possession of that package, it does not come back. There are no warranties on that item. You own it. And they are very good about making that abundantly clear. And also, if you're not up into the go to adamandeve.com or the lovestore.com, if you're not up into how this technology has advanced, I was being shown one that was $300 and wirelessly recharged.
Yeah, no,
And do
yeah.
you think your spouse would be interested in something like that? My spouse's phone isn't that nice. What makes you think?
Yeah. No, I'm here to tell you that I'm going to call myself out because I frequently do that. Here I am talking about the threat of robots taking the fellas away from the ladies.
Yeah, that's been done on the other end, buddy.
I need to acknowledge that fellas, if you don't think for 5 minutes that those bobs are becoming some serious competition for you, you need to get your act together. And you need to consider maybe a picture of B. Arthur handy to keep your staying power going longer.
Yeah.
The bobs are for real.
There is a reason people are dishing out $1,500 for a Sibian, because there's no human that can do what a Sibian can do.
I can't fault a person either. In all
No,
seriousness,
no, no.
you and I
So, by the
okay.
way, if you're like this is getting a little adult. This is adult stuff, and it's normal sexuality. Calm down. If
It
if you
is
if you're a wasp in your car right now, losing your mind. Which, incidentally, do you know what a wasp is?
white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
My God, you're good. You know, I've asked 5 people that, and they didn't know what a wasp was.
Yeah, yeah.
You're in your car losing your mind because 2 adults are talking about sex. Grow up.
Yes, and if you have a child in your car,
Yeah,
just
listen to this
understand that
later. We're allowed to have an occasional one where we can talk like
it's fair.
grown-ups.
But there's nothing explicit happening either. But yeah, okay. I will package this also in a wholesome thing. Okay, let's package this wholesomely for a moment. And the wholesome thing is, okay, this is legit. Okay, this is legit. In some cases, you don't really have the opportunity to choose who you fall in love with. And sometimes that feller is a 3-pump chump.
What I love
This
the way you term it. You don't have the choice of who you fall in love with, which really translates to you didn't mean to get knocked up, but now you're stuck.
that's a fair. Okay, that's fair. So that being said, you can have a totally healthy relationship with a Bob involved as long as you all are in communication.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Just do your thing.
Live your life.
Embrace your inner freak. Do
Okay.
it.
Now, I am for anyone who has listened to this point, I'm going to try to reel some people in that we're gonna do. See if we can get people to pick. We have a lot of things that we can talk about in this podcast.
We
Uh,
could
eh,
actually do something at the end of the podcast where it's like, we want to talk about something like this. Tell us in the comments.
choose your own adventure. On my
Right.
list, we've got there's a whole bunch of lunacy incoming in the stock market. Okay,
Uh-huh.
we have we have another movie that's better than the book because that happens.
And
We
you were 100% right about that.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
subject, yes.
they are legit. We have things of faith to talk about. I have lined up how I strongly believe we're about to enter some hard times again with a bunch of soft people. It could be rough. I've got information on an elite force of Italian shock troops in World War One, excuse me, armed only with knives and grenades.
Sweet.
So if you've listened to this point, email, tweet, comment. Let us know which of those sounds tastiest to you, and that's what we promise we'll hit. Because a lot of this just goes off the cuff, just like with the freaky anime eyes that let us talking to Bob's. We
Yeah,
will
also,
fulfill our
if you want to
promises.
directly ask us a question and have us address it, now's probably the time, because we can go through all 3 pieces of email and probably talk to the 3 of you that took the time to either leave a comment or tweet us or go through your email.
Yeah. Now, to be for real as
Big
well.
Bong, Big Bong 420 asks.
Right. To that point, now is the time to get involved because even though we joke a little bit about how low our viewership is, it is actually growing. It is now consistently growing. So now's the time to jump in.
The other day, just 2 days ago, somebody actually messaged me from the website.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to forego mentioning all of our information here because it is now, if you're listening on audio, it is now included in the description there. It's in the description on YouTube.
Yes.
What I'm going to say is, once again, This the day that you start or end after this podcast is entirely under your control. How awesome it is! So go forth and be amazing. I'm saying that to you as well, Shawn.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go ruck marching,
Muck Rush.
and I'm gonna end my day with most likely an eighth cup of coffee and an 800 milligram ibuprofen.
Mmm. The nightcap of champions.
Oh yeah, baby.
Shawn, have yourself a wonderful night.
Dave, you as well.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.